Which I want to summarize before I go to the slides is that we Muslims, we need to go back to our original legacy. The original legacy which Islam has given to this world is so unprecedented that everything positive happening, you could see some elements of that in your own culture, in your own legacy. Remember one thing, life is important, and the philosophy of life which you give to humanity, this is the one which makes the difference. Before Islam, there is Judaism. Judaism says you have to be from one nation to receive the proper salvation, because if you are from the blood of Abraham, especially through the mother, you are automatically saved. So take 20 million, which are nowadays. Before that it was not even 20 million. And billions of them have got no choice or to be saved. And the only choice they have got is to serve that chosen nation. Have you heard and have you read just 2 months ago the chief rabbi of Israel? That is, he is the chairman of all the rabbis' council, especially among the Orthodox. His name is Joseph. Just put his name and you will find it. He said, the Gentiles are created to serve the Jews. This is the only way they can attain salvation. They've got no other business in this world. And you know what happened? There was uproar, and even the prime minister came out and said, you are making life miserable for all of that. He said, this is what the Bible says, this is what the Hebrew Bible says. Then you guys have changed your religion, it's up to you. But I am about to die. I want to make sure that the whole world knows, serve the Jewish people and you will be saved. Christianity comes and says, you believe in Jesus and you are saved. Now, what else? The killers, you can believe in Jesus. The murderers, you can believe in Jesus. Rapists, you can believe in Jesus. But what else are you offering to humanity? This is Islam. Because Islam was the original message of Sayyidina Ibrahim, Sayyidina Musa, Sayyidina Isa. But this is the Islam which changed the turn in humanity and said, guys, don't waste your life. This life is very important. You have to do something to earn something in the life to come. Don't kill yourself thinking that I can enjoy my life and I will make sure that Jannah is there. Or I can serve such and such nation, and all of these are political issues. Focus upon morality. Think about your akhirah. Think about humanity. Because if you will make the difference among the human beings, and believe me, no other religion has come closer to the way as the Prophet ﷺ said, An-nasu sawasiya ka asnan al-masht. All human beings are equal like the teeth of the comb. And the Prophet ﷺ, when he has said it, that khairun nas man yanfa'un nas. The best among you is the one who is more beneficial to humanity. Quran has come and made it clear that we have created you from one father and one mother and distributed you into tribes and nations so that you can recognize each other. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. There is no superiority based upon religion, color, creed, ethnicity. The superiority is based upon taqwa. How much God conscious you are. Irhamu man fil ardi yarhamukum man fis sama. Be merciful to the people of the earth, and the ones who is in the heaven, the one who is in the heaven will be merciful to you. This egalitarian philosophy, making all human beings equal, making people morally responsible, and make them focused upon akhirah, this is something which is a revolutionary philosophy. So believe me, this philosophy and this kind of theology has taken so many different colors. Some of them, they took it on political level and started making people out of the bondage of the imperial powers, kings, who were putting so much taxation upon them and not treating them equally. You cannot imagine that the people who just walked out of Bedouin desert were so powerful that they can just eliminate the Persian and the Byzantine sophisticated army. It was not because of the training of these people. Number one, they were united. Number two, they were supported by the Christian and the Persians who were what? Mistreated by their ruling classes. When Muslims went to Egypt, after few days of fight, they opened the cities because people wanted to know whether they are serious or not. If they are serious, then they revolted against their own kings, killed them, and opened the door for the Muslims. Same thing happened with the Persian Empire. The Persian people, they wanted to make sure that these Muslims are serious. When they won the war against the king, because king was on the outskirts of what? The empire. When they were able to what? Defeat the king, everybody else fine, thank you, come. The reason was that Islam gave the Muslims and non-Muslims equality, gave them the opportunity to worship the way they want, have their own system of justice and law, have their own Sharia the way they want to, just give jizya, because Muslims give zakat, and then be treated, as I said in my khutbah, damuhum kadamina, maluhum ka amwalina. Their blood becomes sacred like our blood, and their property becomes sacred like our property. Now, these non-Muslims, Christians and Jews, they contributed so much to the empire, Islamic empire. They brought their experience of Byzantine government, Persian government, and became sincere Muslims, and some of them even non-Muslims, but because they felt they are treated with dignity, they put everything they can do to build that Muslim empire. And I will give you the example. Umayyad's time. Muslims did not even know how to build a building. They were desert Bedouins. Do you know who built Dome of the Rock? They were Byzantine Christian architects who built the church in Turkey, who built the church, but they were working under the Muslim instruction. We do not want anything polytheistic, we do not want any shirk. These are the specifications, tell us how to put it. They brought non-Muslims who worked as ministers, as secretaries of state, as directors, as long as they are following the principles of Islam. They brought all of the institutions of Byzantium and Persian and incorporated it into the Islamic empire. The road minister was a Christian who put the roads in accordance with the Byzantine models. The postal services were established by a Persian, because these systems, Diwan system was not in Islam. Sayyidina Umar saw this one, he said, who knows it? One of them, he said, I was the magistrate or such and such, I established this one. This is exactly the way now we Muslims are contributing to the American empire. Many of us are working hard. Not many people know that there are Muslims who are working in NASA. Just look at the Sears Tower. That was built by one of your brothers, Brother Fazlur Rahman, who was from Pakistan at that time, which is nowadays Bangladesh. Just go, and when you go to the Sears Tower, they show you a documentary. Even in that documentary, they show his name, show him. And when you come out after a sky deck, there's a statue of Rahman's statue. You take the photos. When you come out, that road is called Rahman Way. When you come out of the sky deck, here in Chicago, you come out, and where you get out, that road is called Rahman Way. Imagine. Believe me, when you want to build an empire, you make everybody comfortable, compensate them, they will give 100% of their efforts, and this is the way human beings build things together. This is what the Muslim empire did. Remember, the Prophet ﷺ said, Al-hikmatu dalatil mu'min. Hikmah, wisdom, knowledge is the last commodity of a Muslim. He does not bother whether it's coming from a kafir or a Muslim, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself is wise. Wisdom comes from him. So you benefit it. Whether it's coming from a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim, wisdom is what? Wisdom. You take it. So Muslims, they took the Romans sciences, Greek sciences, Christian sciences, Persian sciences, but they have got a skeleton. You know what happens? When you've got this kind of skeleton saying, anything which fits in, let it come. Anything which is against it, discard. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them. Tawheed, Iman, morality, Akhirah, concept of justice, equality. So they did not bother. Anything comes, put it over there. Anything which fits, keep it. And whatever does not fit, cut it off. That's what they did to the Greek sciences, Roman sciences, Christian thinking, Jewish thinking, modified it from Islamic perspective and discarded the things which are polytheistic, injustice, inequality, And that's where, during the Abbasids, that was the golden period of Islam. Spain, Muslim Spain. Remember, who was the person who established the Umayyad Empire in Muslim Spain was Abdul Rahman, one of the grandsons of the Khalifa, the last Khalifa of, or one of the Khalifas of Umayyads. And when he ran, remember, by that time, the Umayyad have already ruled almost for 90 years. Because Umayyad dynasty started in 661, when Sayyidina Ali passed away, was murdered. And the last Umayyad Khalifa was Marwan II, who was killed in 750. So from 661 to 750, this is what the Umayyads have ruled. So he is a heir to, Abdul Rahman is here to what? Almost 95 years of what? Ruling class experience. So this young man took that experience and got the people together in Berber, Muslims, and went and conquered Spain, one young man. But because he has got the experience, he brought that experience and started the institutions, Islamic institutions, which were what? Not seen in the Spain or the Europe of that time. From Muslim Spain, sitting in Spain, northern part of Italy, and Sicily, and northern part of France. That's where all of the Muslim ideas, institutions are going into France, Holland, and actually Holland, because what happens is the second trade route used to go through Holland. As you know, Netherlands nowadays, Holland, that is on the Atlantic Ocean. From France you come, if you don't want to go through Spain, because from Spain you go to Gibraltar, Jebel Tariq, and you go to Mediterranean Sea. Otherwise you come from Holland, and from Holland you get into Atlantic Ocean, and you just cross into Mediterranean Sea. So Holland was the other port from where all the goods are going towards Mediterranean Sea, India, China, Iran, Persia, whatever. So Holland became again the port from where the Muslim ideas are coming into Europe. And that's where I will show you the Socinians who believed in one God, the Unitarians and all of that. Most of them were the Holland business people. These are the people who have gone to the Muslim world because they are dealing with Morocco, Aljazair, because what we call Aljazair and Tunis, all of that was called Marrakesh, Al-Maghrib. Okay? Now, they are dealing with Muslims, really made them that these people are fulfilling their promise, they have got their written contracts, they've got institutions, banks, they've got their own system. So they started copying the same thing. Whatever is happening over there, they started first in Holland. Second thing was in France, because the way Muslims are running the affairs in Spain, this is what the French started doing. Many of these terminologies were translated from Arabic into Latin. And now they are translated from Latin into English, and we don't understand the Latin, and we are unable to understand where is the origin. I just gave you the example of tabula rasa, okay? Because table is cabinet in what you call Latin. Ras is head. So what, Ibn Tufail, who uses the word, the cabinet of the head, because he is called as the khazanat al-ras. So it is translated tabula rasa, and the same word is used in English. Now John Locke uses tabula rasa, and we think it is Latin scholar, but what we do not know is he's using the word khazanat al-rasa of Ibn Tufail. So same thing, so many of the words which are even used nowadays in America, in Europe, they are the exact translation of the Arabic words, which either were translated into Holland language, Netherlands language, or French language, or Latin language, and from there they were translated into English. And because everything comes to us here from English, so we think everything is coming from English, but we are forgetting the other connection. Where did it come to England? That's where I want you to understand one thing, that this cooking part, English, which is being influenced till 18th century by the Arabic books, by the Muslim books, by the Muslim sciences, that's where our original legacy comes. Because it came from there to America, and America was a new found land. They have never been in control of anything, and they were aloof from the whole world. They did not have to fight with anybody. So what they led, they flourished, they expanded upon it, and now it is the American civilization, and no doubt it is one of the greatest civilization of humanity of modern time, but it did not come out of blue. It owes something to somewhere else, to the East, and especially to the Muslim Spain and the Muslim legacy. Clear? Okay. Now, read this one. I'm talking about Socinian. And Socinians were, as you know, Dutch. Dutch is Holland, Dutch. So they have got the Dutch and Polish rules. Can you read it? Okay. And we have said already that the catechism, which they brought into their churches, that was called the Catechism of Al-Quran, because they eliminated Trinitarian formulas, all of that. We believe in one God, we believe in the Day of Judgment, we believe in the angels. So this is what they started seeing in their services, and that was called the Catechism of Al-Quran. Should I continue? Should I continue, please? Sure. And we have read some of these last week. I'm just not going to focus too much upon it. Should I move to the next one? 1693. You know that everybody said Islam was spread by the sword, but they said no, because of truth and because of the concept of unity of God. It's a beautiful argument made by this author. He says that we Christians were given the authority to convert Mongols because one of their princes converted to Christianity and she invited Christian scholars and everybody. And because of their relationship with Europe. And Mongols, they went and they destroyed Islam. But they did not convert to Christianity, they converted to Islam. So that is the strength of Islam, that if Islam does not have the political control and can withstand the pressure of the enemy, it has got the spiritual power to change them from within. And John Toland, as I have mentioned before that, he wrote the book Nazareans. He would not call Christians because he said when Christianity has taken the message of Jesus into wrong direction, the Nasara. Nazareans are the Nasara. And because the Quran uses the word Nasara, so he wrote the book Nasara in 1718. I have already talked about it. Let's go. Okay. Now, here is Thomas Furman. Thomas Furman was an English businessman who had the network of business posts all over the Europe, and his biggest office was in Dutch colony or in Holland. He will take the stuff from Europe to Holland, and from there it will go to Islamic world and China and India, and from there the stuff will come and it will be distributed into Europe. Thomas Furman was, because he was a rich man, he had so many scholars whom he helped, or call it sponsored. And John Locke was the top notch among them. And the other bishop, even Archbishop of Canterbury, he was also a member of his circle. And Stephen May, these two people, John Locke and Stephen May, I want you to focus more upon them, because John Locke is going to influence what? The Thomas Jefferson, everybody, as I've told you, and Stephen May is the other one who has very close relationship with John Locke and influenced him a lot. Now the church and the government started persecuting them. And 500, pounds at that time was not something easy, Where people were getting 50 cents a month, This is another figure who was burnt alive in 1697. And that's because of the blasphemy law, because he committed blasphemy, saying Jesus is not God. That's where when I talk to Christians, I said, we are not afraid of blasphemy law because it came to us from you. You've got history of it. And do you know that in England, the blasphemy law was recounted or changed in 2008. And in the United States of America, that law still exists in our Constitution, but because of the First Amendment, it has been explained in so many ways that it has not been implemented for years. But it still stays in our Constitution. because why Muhammad Sallallahu was able to have that much conquest and victories? This is because of God's support, because he believed in one God. Clear? So the victories of the Al-Quran over the Gospel must be evidence that as the religion of Moses was better than that of the Canaanites and the religion of Christ better than that of Moses, so must the religion of Muhammad be better than that of Christ. That's Thomas Bury. So in 1690, this person is writing in English that Prophet Muhammad was not, and a